Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is me, the Salty Lemon, and today I'm going to do a deep dive into the Type 75 SPH in War Thunder. The format will be pretty simple. I'll list a bunch of information on the vehicle, and then at the end explain how each of the bits of information fits into the optimal playstyle in my opinion, and how to get the most out of the vehicle. This is a little different to my usual gameplay videos, as I'm experimenting a bit on what to do on YouTube and where to take my channel. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. The Type 75 is a rank 4 battle rating 6.3 anti-everything derp gun and is, in my opinion, one of the most fun vehicles in War Thunder to play. Stay tuned for a video on that. On paper, the Type 75 is rather lacking, with only a few standout features, so let's start with them, shall we? The first one is that the Type 75 can elevate its gun up to 65 degrees above the horizontal, has a short reload of just 10 seconds flat due to the inclusion of an autoloader, and is quite fast for a vehicle of its size, being able to do 47 km per hour forwards and 19 km per hour in reverse, with a power to weight ratio of 15.73 to 1 stock and 17.79 to 1 spaded, making it able to accelerate faster than me when the pizza delivery guy knocks on my door. It also has a crew of 6. That's about it for the pros, and now the cons. Despite the tank's mammoth size, the gun can only depress 5 degrees below the horizontal, about the same as most Russian tanks will be fighting. Your turret also rotates slower than Gaijin balancing the game, only 7.1 degrees per second with a stock vehicle and crew, and just 12 degrees per second spaded with an aced crew. The armor can best be described as laughable, with about 15mm of rolled homogeneous armor equivalent on the front, sides, and rear, while the roof only has around 12mm equivalent. There is an 8mm rolled homogeneous armor plate between the engine and the crew compartments, but all this does is catch the spalling generated by a round penetrating the engine block, then subsequently generating more spalling, which makes the rest of the crew not have a very good time. The vehicle also has a visibility rating of 95%, meaning that any enemies with a working pair of eyes will spot you zooming around the map. Luckily, Japan is often queued against Germany for some reason, so you don't have to worry about this happening often. The vehicle also only comes with 28 rounds of ammo, so running out is a serious concern, especially given the fact that the reload is only 10 seconds long. And with the consistency of overpressure, you usually need more than one hit to kill an enemy tank. In terms of armament, the Type 75 is armed with the NSJ L/30 155mm autoloading cannon, capable of dispensing one oversized sushi roll every 10 seconds. The gun is capable of traversing 360 degrees side to side and can elevate from -5 to +65 degrees. It can do this at a speed of 7.1 degrees per second horizontally and 10.5 degrees per second vertically on a fully stock crew and vehicle, up to a maximum speed of 12 degrees per second horizontally and 15 degrees per second vertically on a spaded vehicle with an aced crew. In addition to this, it has a roof-mounted 50 caliber machine gun to dispatch low-flying aircraft if your aim with the main gun sucks, and comes in handy when engaging open-top light vehicles. It can elevate between -8 and 45 degrees and can traverse at around 50 degrees per second if I had to guess, although I couldn't find any information on this and am too lazy to do the calculations myself. As mentioned before, the primary 155mm cannon doesn't get a whole lot of shells, so make sure you don't waste them. Your roof-mounted also only gets 4 clips of ammo, so use them wisely and don't fire them all off at the start of the match, like I see happening way too often. On the subject of ammo, the Type 75 gets access to 4 different shells: Default HE, Speedy HE, Proxy HE, and Smoke. Their real names being M107, Type 75, M107PF, and Smoke, respectively. The default and proximity shells are exactly the same stats-wise, hence the naming scheme, and both have 9.14 kilograms of TNT equivalent filler and a muzzle velocity of 580 meters per second, with the obvious difference being that the proximity round has a 3-meter proximity fuse. This fuse will only trigger if the shell's trajectory takes it over a tank or within 3 meters of an aircraft, not if it's going to impact them, making it objectively better than the default HE. Plus, you can kill planes with it if you, unlike me, can aim. The Speedy HE shell sacrifices 2.34 kilograms of TNT explosive filler equivalent to gain 140 meters per second of muzzle velocity, although this round can now only penetrate 54mm of RHA and has trouble overpressuring large vehicles, such as the T-95 or American T-34, due to this lower explosive mass charge. The smoke round has a smoke radius of 25 meters and might just be able to kill a low-tier AAA if you hit them directly. Unlike the previously mentioned larger vehicles, the Type 75 can't survive high explosive rounds to the face, which brings me on to the topic of survivability. In terms of survivability, it can best be summed up in one word: no. The Type 75 has less armor than a banana, only 30mm of aluminium alloy on the front, sides and rear, and only 25mm on the roof. This is about equivalent to 15mm of rolled homogeneous armor on the front, sides and rear, and about 12mm on the roof. So enjoy getting killed by every enemy sneezing in your general direction, and every artillery shell exploding within a postcode of you. On the bright side, this armor is thin enough to not trigger some APHE rounds and cause an overpenetration, but I have only ever had this happen to me once. Instead, what tends to happen is the round passes through the turret without detonating, then explodes outside the turret and somehow overpressures the entire crew, because physics. The Type 75 is also very large and has a visibility rating of 95%, making getting spotted and shot a regular occurrence. You also can't carry many rounds if you want your ammo racks to be any smaller than the Empress Palace. Having 5 crew in the turret poses a problem because if an APHE round is triggered inside there and explodes, chances are that all 5 will be killed and you will be sent right back to the hangar to contemplate your life choices, and ask yourself questions such as, why do I still play this game? What could I be doing with my life? Why? How? To top it all off, the driver, gunner, and commander are all on the right-hand side of the tank, meaning that a single shot down the side will both immobilize the vehicle and take away your ability to shoot. One slight survivability advantage is the fact that your engine block is the size of Texas, and consequently soaks more shells than 5-year-old me on the beach. I was a weird kid. Anyway, the Type 75 also has some other quirks, a brief list of which follows. Firstly, your gun is very unstable while doing any sort of movement, so hitting shots on the move is difficult. Your roof optics are the size of the Sky Tower and provide a very enticing target for anyone with half a brain cell and a high explosive round loaded if you are peeking over a hill. Again, luckily, you will often be queued against Germany, so you won't die to this often. Your own HE round is quite fast for a derp gun, which makes aiming difficult if you're just starting out with the vehicle. By far the best quirk is some people having a brain aneurysm when they die to the Type 75, and come back in a plane in a fit of rage to try and revenge kill you. There is nothing more satisfying than watching a proximity round slap them in the face while they try to do this. It seems to make them even madder somehow, escalating the hilarity of the situation. You are also allergic to artillery, so pay attention, and when the red smoke shells start falling, go in the opposite direction. So, what's my verdict on it? Well, despite having relatively lackluster stats, the Type 75 is a very fun and versatile vehicle, mostly due to the mobility and sheer bonk potential. A top speed of 47 km per hour forwards, combined with good acceleration, allows this vehicle to reach positions quickly and effectively counter the enemy team. In addition, the 19 km per hour reverse speed allows you to disengage faster than most French tanks. I'm not even joking about that. The irony is palpable. I would recommend using the proximity round as it has identical stats to the default high explosive round and allows you to engage tanks in a way you normally wouldn't be able to, such as sending a shell over a hill the enemy is behind and overpressuring them through their roof. It allows you to engage aircraft as well, which is a major advantage due to the previously mentioned frothing at the mouth rages some people fly into after getting killed by this thing. Killing aircraft is made easier with the 65 degrees of gun elevation because most people don't expect vehicles to have such high elevation angles. They fly above you thinking, ooh, lunch, only to dive on you in the aircraft and be met with 9 kilograms of TNT to the face. Despite your fantastic elevation angles, your positions are somewhat limited due to your lackluster -5 degrees of gun depression. Due to this, it is much easier to engage enemies when you have the low ground versus the high ground. Sorry, Obi-Wan. You can do this by lobbing shells over hills and overpressuring the enemies behind them with your proximity fuse shell, while remaining unable to be hit by them without them exposing their entire vehicle to shoot you. The shell is also useful for ranging purposes. If the shell explodes above a tank but doesn't kill it, you can use the hit graphic on the top right of your screen by default to adjust your aim down to hit the roof of the tank and kill it. Your positions are also limited by your ammo capacity of just 28 rounds, enough for most matches, but your fire still needs to be checked so that you don't run out of ammo mid-engagement, especially due to your autoloader. Even though you only have 28 shells, your ammo racks are very large, meaning that the chance of your turret being sent to meet the ISS is quite high if you're hit in the side, so stick to positions with some cover. Or you could, just hold W until you meet the enemy. That also works. Overall, I would highly recommend playing the Type 75 SPH as it is a very fun and strangely effective vehicle. Thank you all so much for watching. A list of sources used in this video is up on screen now. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. It's a bit different to the usual gameplay videos I post, so please do let me know in the comments if you like it and want to see some more. A quick channel update, I am entering mock exam season in the coming weeks, which is why the uploads are falling a bit behind what I'd hoped to be putting out, because I'm studying and, all that jazz that comes with exams. I will try to get 2 videos a week uploaded, but this might not be possible across all the weeks. Hopefully in a month or so, uploads will return to once every 1 to 2 days. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, please do not hesitate to put them in the comments as well. I would love to hear them. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay salty, my lemons.